All right. Oops. Okay. So, Dave Chappelle is becoming a broken record. So, Happy New Year to those who are already in 2024. For the rest of you, 2023 is ending with the year's favorite whipping boy, trans people. So, Dave Chappelle is, of course, he's got a new special out on Netflix, and of course he has to trash trans people. Now, when this started, he claimed, like most bigots do, that he has a trans friend, which boggles my mind because I'm sure he would lose his shit if a racist said that they're not racist because they have a black friend, which is what bigots do. Well, he did the same thing. So if he did have that trans friend, either that person's moved on after seeing what a horrible person he is, was self-hating and put up with him, or never existed to begin with. And I personally am going with option 3, but let's get to the article in Variety about his latest special, and oh boy, he's not even pretending to like trans people anymore. He's just really just going for the jugular. Alright, so maybe it's time for Dave Chappelle to try some new material. The comedian's newest special, The Dreamer, debuted on Netflix on December 31st and largely focused on his early years in entertainment and how he manifested his success. But he floods the first 12 minutes of the set, revising his favorite target in recent years, transgender people. Because trans people are apparently living rent-free in his head. Chappelle opens the special by telling a story about visiting Jim Carrey while he was shooting the 1999 film Man on the Moon, where the actor famously went method on set while portraying comedian Andy Kaufman. Now, before I continue, for those who don't know what method acting means, it means that they truly become, in this case, the person they're portraying. Not just on set, but continuously throughout the process, whether the camera's on them or not, whether they're, at home, chilling out, because the movie is still being shot, you're still in that role, even though you literally don't have to be. Anyway, so Dave recalls being very disappointed that he spent the day speaking to Carrey pretending to be Kaufman, which I'm not sure why. I mean, nothing against Jim Carrey, but it would be kind of cool to spend a day with Andy Kaufman. So, and ending by saying, that's how trans people make me feel. Okay, first off, unless a trans person tells you they're trans, how the hell do you know? I mean, not all of them pass, true. Some make a big deal about not passing, but for the most part, they pass. So how the hell do you know that a person is trans? Unless they tell you. This really screams and there's this big movement going on called transvestigators, where people proclaim that every little normal behavior or normal physical attribute somehow proves that the person is trans, to the ridiculous degree, which makes me wonder if They're actually being serious. But anyway, it's to that extent. It's like, how do you know? How can trans people make you feel that way when 9 times out of 10 you do not know you're talking to a trans person? And like I've mentioned before, there are cis people who have been mistaken for trans because they don't pass. Because you have this idea of what a man is, what a woman is, and if someone deviates in the slightest way, because, it's not like that's how humanity works or anything, then you obviously must be trans. So it's just, He then addressed the controversy surrounding his anti-trans material, saying, oh boy, if you guys came here to this show tonight thinking that I'm going to make fun of these people again, you've come to the wrong show. I'm not fucking with those people anymore. Oh really? You just did. It wasn't worth the trouble. I ain't saying shit about them. Maybe 3 or 4 times tonight, but that's it. I'm tired of talking about them. And you want to know why I'm tired about talking about them? Because these people acted like I needed them to be funny. Well, that's ridiculous. I don't need you. I get a whole new angle coming. You guys will never see this shit coming. I ain't going to oh my god. I ain't doing trans jokes no more. After he just trashed trans people, mentioning that they make them feel like he's talking to someone, pretending to be someone else. But no, he's not going to trash trans people anymore. At least he was honest about maybe 3 or 4 times. So he acknowledges he isn't going to completely stop. But, he is such a despicable human being. He then said he was going to transition to joking about handicapped people instead because they're not as organized as the gays, and I love punching down. Seriously? I'm sorry, you think you're a good person, right? Or do you know that you're a piece of trash and you're just embracing it? I'm not sure which one. Because a lot of these people seem to think that they're some kind of martyrs or something. So, let me get this straight. Now, there's a couple things wrong with this, actually. First, he's going to joke about the handicapped. Which, I'm sorry, what year is this? We have an ADA. What do you mean they're not organized? What is wrong with you? We have the word ableist in our vocabulary now. What are you talking about? They are very much organized. And they're not as organized as the gays. The people have been having a problem with you because you're anti-trans. Are you saying you don't know the difference? I'm confused about this argument here. But he at least admitted that he's a piece of shit by saying, I love punching down. So, at least he's being honest. He's screaming out to the void that I'm a piece of shit. At least he's got that going for him. At least he's being honest. So, a few minutes later, Chappelle revisited the topic, saying, to be honest with you, I've been trying to repair my relationship with the transgender community because I don't want them to think that I don't like them. And then you led with your Jim Carrey story. You know how I've been repairing it? I wrote a play. Oh, God. I did. Because I know that gays love plays. Again, gay and trans are not the same thing, you fucking moron. It's a very sad play, but it's moving. It's about a black transgender woman whose pronouns is sadly, and Um, it's a anti-black slur. So yeah, not with an er at the end, but an a. So yes, it's the N word. So I'm not saying it. It's a tearjerker. At the end of the play, she dies of loneliness because white liberals don't know how to speak to her. It's sad. Oh my god, there is so much wrong with that. But this is Dave Chappelle attempting to be funny, so the only thing sad here is your existence at this point. I mean, I know that he had like some sort of mental breakdown during his show years ago. Obviously, he never recovered. Anyway, so there's so much wrong. First off, the damn one joke that transphobes have of I identify as or my pronouns are. That word is not a pronoun. Anybody with a nominal understanding of how language works knows what a frickin' pronoun is, and that ain't it. So, that's number one. At the end of the play, she dies of loneliness because white liberals don't know how to speak to her. It's sad. Number two, the only time it is okay to say a slur towards somebody is if they give their okay. I had a coworker in one of my prior jobs. She was black. Her friend was white. She referred to her friend as honky. I think it was honky. I don't think it was cracker. I think it was honky. And her friend referred to her by the N-word. But you know what? She had permission to do that. Same thing here. If a black person gives you permission to call them the N-word, and it's fine, you should do that. In this day and age, I can't imagine many black people wanting to be called that, but if you're okay with it and if you gave this person the okay beforehand, it's fine. So no, the only people who will be confused and don't know how to speak to someone is simply because they just have decided that that's a bad word, so nobody could ever want to be called that. No, if you have no problem with it, if you actually want to be called that, fine. Then it's perfectly fine to use that word, as long as you understand that it's a situational thing. You can call somebody the N-word if they give you permission. But that doesn't mean you can call all black people by that and think you can get away with it. It's really not that hard. So, no, not only is he making white people and white liberals specifically to be completely stupid, this whole situation is completely stupid. And the only thing that's sad is your existence and your understanding of how things work. Because, again, he says, I know that gays love plays. Trans people are not necessarily gay. Why is this so hard to understand? Because even if you refuse to believe a trans person actually is the opposite gender to what they did their biological sex, even if you took into account that you were saying, oh, this person is still a man, but he's with a woman now. Regardless of whether you see that man as now a woman because this man is in actuality a trans woman, you're gonna, by his logic, you're gonna think they're straight anyway, because it is only if after transitioning that person is with the opposite sex you might consider it gay. So, what is going on here? Why are you bringing gay people into this as if it's a synonym for trans? I mean, the layers of stupidity in Dave Chappelle's hatred. I mean, granted, bigotry is stupid to begin with, but it's just mind-boggling because, if someone treated black people the way he's treating trans people, he would probably lose his shit. Granted, he'd have every right to, but he would. But yet he has no problem doing this to trans people. And he loves punching down? Well, then I guess he shouldn't have a problem when people punch down on him, right? God, you are such an asswipe. Later he quipped, God forbid I ever go to jail. Oh, please do. But if I do, I hope it's in California. Soon as the judge sentences me, I'll be like, before you sentence me, I want the court to know I identify as a woman. Send me to a woman's jail. As soon as I get in there, you know what I'm gonna be doing? Give me your fruit cocktail, bitch, before I knock your motherfucking teeth out. I'm a girl just like you, bitch. Come here and suck this girl dick I got. Don't make me explain myself. I'm a girl. Oh my God. Okay. So, not only does he think that because California law allows people to go into the jail of the gender that they feel more comfortable as, in the sense that because you cannot go there dressed as a man, showing absolutely no prior history of wanting to transition, and then just say, oh yeah, I'm actually identifying as a woman. Since fucking when? Since 5 seconds ago, because I want to be able to rape girls in the woman's jail. How much more pathetic can you be? Not only does he think that trans people are lying, specifically trans men, but he's also advocating for sexual assault. He is saying not that he's worried that this is going to happen or anything. He says he personally would do that just so he can rape women in jail. How much more of a despicable person can you scream that you are? I mean, seriously. That, number one, that is not how trans women act. Because if you're truly a trans woman, you wouldn't do that shit. Even if you were a lesbian. And that says way more about him, saying that he would actually be willing to pretend to be a woman just so he could rape women. How fucked up is that? I mean, seriously, at this point, how is this man earning any type of living? How is this man not living under a bridge? Because he should not be getting the notoriety that he is getting. If he's willing to say, not only do I hate trans people, I think I should be allowed to rape women. Now, I get it, he's trying to make a joke, and people are gonna say that I'm taking him too literal, but the fact that he even can bring this up means he's thought about it. Because most sane people, they wouldn't think up these situations because they would trust people. You're just screaming that you don't trust trans women. That you don't believe that trans women are women. You do not understand what it means to be trans. You just see the outside. You are that fucking shallow. You just see the outside and assume that inside they still feel like they're men and that they're just doing it because they like to dress up. This isn't bosom buddies. They're not trying to trick you. This is how they feel. This isn't about how they're going to just trick society so they can attack women. That's not how this works. Actually, trans people are more likely to be the one who are attacked. He is just a humongously disgusting excuse for a human being. Oh my god, why is this not moving? Okay, where did I go? Because, alright. Later in the special, Chappelle addressed when he was attacked on stage at the Hollywood Bowl in 2002 by an assailant with a replica gun that could discharge a knife blade. Chappelle recalled trying to diffuse tension after the incident with a joke, telling the audience it was a trans man, but he said it didn't go over well, given the audience's response of, "Boo, it's LA, we like trans people." And I'll take things that never happened for 1,000, Alex. Okay. He was attacked by an assailant. Why did you think claiming that it was a trans man was a good joke? But the reason is because we like trans people? No, the reason is because you're a piece of shit. I mean, even if you don't like trans people, assuming that someone can only attack you because they're trans is stupid. Racist people exist, dumbass. I mean, just because you're in LA, they have those. So, why are you assuming that trans people hate you so much that they are willing to actually attack you? I mean, I do not understand this. And a trans man? I mean, was this person dressed as a man? And that's why you think it's a trans man? Well, let me see. You just said that all trans women are men who are trying to get one over so they can get into jail and rape women. Why do you really think a woman would do that? Because if it's a trans man, obviously you think she's actually a woman, right? And since you are going on both right-wing talking points and sexism, I just don't understand where you thought that logic would work. And yeah, it's not that they like trans people and they can do whatever they want. It's just that you're a piece of shit. Anyway, Chappelle also said the attacker had a knife that identified as a gun. And like I said, the one joke of transphobes. And I triggered them because I had done LGBTQ sick jokes. Sick, S-I-C, not S-I-C-K. And it turns out this fella was a B. What? Okay. He also joked, knowing that the attacker was bisexual, he could have been raped. Oh, please. You're such a horrible piece of shit. Nobody would touch you with a 10-foot pole. Don't worry, sweetheart. No bi person would want to touch you. Actually, I'm surprised there's a woman out there who'd want to touch you. So no, you're safe. But considering he just said that he would actually be willing to pretend to be a woman just so he could go into a woman's jail and rape women, it makes sense that he would be worried about being raped because obviously everybody thinks like him. Oh, wow. Shot at the Lincoln Theater in Chappelle's native Washington, D.C. Yes, a notorious hotbed of conservatism. Yes, that was sarcasm. The Dreamer is the comedian's 7 stand-up special exclusive to Netflix. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but after his, I think it was first special, bombed because, he went full transphobe, a lot of Netflix employees walked out. So, yeah, I wonder how that's working out for Netflix. Chappelle has been under fire over recent years for frequent comments regarding the transgender community, including in his 2021 Netflix special, The Closer. The controversial material incited Netflix employees' walkouts and protests in solidarity with the LGBTQ+ community. While Netflix's Ted Sarandos initially defended the comedian and his right to artistic freedom in a memo distributed among Netflix employees, he later said he screwed up in his reaction to the controversy. Now, first off, he's not wrong. Chappelle has every right to say and be as despicable a human being as is possible. Absolutely, that is his right. That is his freedom of speech. The problem is Netflix is not a government entity. They are a private entity. Freedom of speech only affects government entities. The government cannot stop Dave Chappelle from being a horrible excuse for a human being. Netflix, on the other hand, doesn't have to air his crap. No, they can say, sorry, we're not interested in you anymore. We like our advertising dollars much more than giving you a platform. That is within their right. That is not infringing on anybody's freedom of speech. What people usually mean when they scream freedom of speech, or in this case, artistic freedom, what they're saying is that there should not be consequences to what I say. That is not what freedom of speech means. I have every right to make this video shitting on Dave Chappelle as much as he has a right to shit on trans people. That is how freedom of speech works. To say that someone's opinion is unsaleable and cannot be challenged, that is not freedom of speech. That is a dictatorship. Okay. A picture of Sarandos and Chappelle smiling together is shown during the credits of The Dreamer. So I don't know if that means that he must still be on Dave Chappelle's side because they aired this special. But, he keeps this up and who knows? Netflix might become the Daily Wire 2.0 when it comes to streaming. And they're not going to, or Fox Nation, that only conservatives are going to want to work with them because nobody's going to want to be associated with a platform that allows obvious transphobia. And like I said, not only was he transphobic, he was misogynist. I mean, he's pro-rape, for God's sakes. And to say that he isn't, he said it himself. He said that he would want to go to a woman's prison pretending to be a woman so he could rape. I mean, who even thinks that up as a joke? Even if you think that that's what trans men do, why would you even put yourself in the main character as that? That you would actually want to do that yourself. That's just disgusting in so many ways. he's just, I know that he's trying to shock people and get people to talk about him, but at what point are people going to just not want to have anything to do with him? It's great. I understand there's that old adage, all publicity is good publicity, but at some point it stops being good publicity, and nobody's going to want to have anything to do with you. Whether it be because of public perception or because they just find you completely repulsive. Either way, you are going to suffer. So why not only is he doubling down on anti-trans, but now he's being anti-woman. I just do not understand how this man's brain works. Like I said, during his show, the Dave Chappelle show, he had a nervous breakdown. He obviously never recovered and has gone completely insane. And this man needs help of some kind, and letting him run off his mouth and make people hate him so much more. I just don't see how this is helping anybody at this point. So anyway, that's all I have to say about this article and Dave Chappelle. And with that, hopefully that's my last video of 2023, and hopefully 2024, for those who haven't started it, will be so much better. Anyway, with that, I will see you guys in the next video.